I'm gonna do the one about that weird ass bitch who did that weird ass shit. Hi YouTube, hi people, hello my loves, it's Bella Waldorf back at you with another story time, honey. Thank you for tuning in, thank you for getting here, thank you for clicking. I'm so happy I popped up on your page. That's Winston. We're sleeping. We're so sleepy, baby. That's my baby. And she's gonna be accompanying me while I tell the story about this weirdo girl who was my friend, and we're not friends anymore, obviously. Y'all gonna see why. Before we get started, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on all my social medias, Instagram and TikTok at 10 Toes About It. I'm gonna have the name right here. TentoesBoutit, and we live over there, right? Okay. So this is gonna be the story about a weirdo, and I hope she sees this and, you know, come talk to me if you want to. Now the story takes place, it begins back in 2010. The year before I graduated from high school. I graduated 2011. I graduated 13 years ago. Oh my God. This year, June 2024 makes 13 years since I graduated high school. Wow. I met this girl. What am I gonna call her? What are we gonna call her? Because I feel like anything can be too. If you know, if you know, you're gonna know. But as we get further into the story, if you know the bitch, you're gonna know what I'm talking about. We're gonna call her not even two. We're gonna call her Cigarette. That's what she look like. She like a cigarette. Alright, so I met her in the summer school before I graduated from high school. Yeah, because I ended up going to a new school. And oh my God, like once I become rich and famous, I'm gonna donate so much money to this high school because it was so good. Like everything about the high school I graduated from was amazing. And if you know, you know, they did not play when it came to their students, but that's another. So she and I were both in high school. We was in summer school together. And she had this boyfriend at the time, and all three of us were cool. We were like our little clique. We used to hang out all the time. We clicked immediately. Like, I think our first day of getting to know each other, like, we was walking to the train together type of shit. Like, she always had a good ass vibe, which makes me so sad because, like, bitch, we could have still been cool, my nigga. I didn't know she was my age because she gave older, because that bitch used to suck on them cigarettes like. Not wrong with that. Like, I mean, there's a lot wrong with smoking cigarettes. Okay, we're not gonna be stupid. Okay? There's a lot wrong with smoking cigarettes. And then also, we was like 17, 18 years old. Yeah, there's a lot. Like, girl, put that down. She definitely had a cool personality. Like, y'all knew each other for mad long. You know, like, she was mad funny. She was mad loud. Like, she was. So we were close to the point where, like, she got to know my mom. And it was like her and my mother would be on the phone type shit. Like they were close. Like she used to come to my house to do sleepovers when I wasn't in the shelter. I used to go sleep over at her house with her family, and then she had got her own apartment. That was like our, throughout the year we were cool, whatever. Throughout the school year. So then I remember our graduation night, me, her, Island, Dummy, and Swanson, if I remember to, because I have a story time with all three of them weirdos. Well, two of them were weirdos. Island was the only cool one. I'm gonna put a story time, my thumbnail, because I got a story about all of them. So all me, Island, Swanson, Dummy, and Cigarettes, we hung out because we were all like, we eventually all became like a group or whatever. So we was all hanging out for graduation night. we was all smoking together and getting lit and all that stuff. You know, woo, graduated from high school. So I'm gonna mention this only because it has like a bit. After high school, after we graduated from high school, I was homeless again. I have a story time about that. Um, I went to go. We were getting kicked out again. So I had went to go stay with my friend Island, who I got the story time about her and put the thumbnail right here. Um, After I left her, I went to go live with my godmother for a little bit, and then I went to live with my mom again. We got an apartment. So I mentioned Island and living with her because when I was living out there, I got my home health aid certificate, which basically, if y'all don't know what a home health aid is, basically like a babysitter for old people. What I did is we had like 3 weeks of training, and then they would just stick us on cases. They wouldn't tell us much about these cases, much about these people, and I bring this up for a reason. They wouldn't tell us much about these people, much about the cases, much about what we had to do. They would give us like a paper format of what they thought these people did. We had to give them medication. That's another story in itself. So basically, I got my home health aid license while I was living out there with Island, and then I ended up transitioning and ended up living with my mom. The home health aid, you have assignments. You can either do daily cases where like they assign you to one person and you just go to them every day and you work with them, or you can do what they call a live-in, which is you'll get assigned to someone who lives hella far and you have to live with them and 24-hour care basically. So I did that because live-in paid more hourly. I think they paid daily actually. I think they paid daily. So instead of like $12 an hour, I was getting like $100 a day. So I had went to my live-in case, and I'm gonna try to sum up this part of my story because this story is not about this, but you have, in order to get here, we have to hear this. Okay. So they sent me out to Great Neck, New York to be with this bitch named Nancy. Nancy wasn't my client. Her mother was the person I had to take care of. And I will never forget the day I got to Nancy's house, her mother's aide, I was relieving her for good. I went to the nurse and I was like, oh, can you tell me a little bit about what I'm gonna be dealing with? This lady said, I'm gonna let you figure it out. And walked out. Verbatim, she beep, and she left. She didn't tell me anything I needed to know, and I was just like, oh, okay. How bad can the lady, I don't even remember the lady's name, but Nancy, her daughter? It was, the first couple of days was okay, and I'm really gonna try to make this quick. The first couple of days was alright. You know, always the first couple of days is fine, and then people's true colors begin to show. Nancy was a bitch, yo. Like I had just got an iPhone. My iPhone died within like the first 5 days of being there. So I wasn't allowed to use the phone. I wasn't allowed to watch TV. I wasn't allowed to do anything that went out of taking care of her mother. Which makes sense because she's bedridden. She couldn't talk. She couldn't do anything. So she needs eyes on her. Yes, but when she's sleeping and I'm up, I couldn't call my mom. My phone had died and I couldn't go outside to buy a charger. Oh my God, like this lady had me held hostage in her house for like 2 weeks. So we got to the point where I remember her mom had a traveling nurse come over. And this was the cherry on top of the bullshit cake I was already baking for the 12 days I was already here. Because the last 2 days I was like, you know what, I'm gonna kill this lady, not the mom, Nancy. The traveling nurse came and I forgot how we started talking about this, but she was like, oh, how are you and Nancy getting along? And I'm like, and I guess she didn't know how long I was there because I'm guessing she thought I just got there because she was like, girl, you better be careful because Nancy like to hit. I said, Nancy like to do what? She said, yeah, that's why her mother's old aide left. The one I relieved, the one I was like, oh, I'm gonna let you figure it out. She was in here slapping that lady up. I said, Nancy was not a young girl. Nancy was like maybe had to have been in her late 60s. I wish Nancy would hit me. I wish Nancy would fix her hand to try and strike me, bitch, because her and her mother would be in that bed together. So that was the last straw for me. So I ended up calling the agency and I was like, look, I can't do this no more. Y'all gonna have to da, 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 da. So they took me off the case, and the next 2 days, the day after, I stayed with the lady and I had to help her out, and the day after that, the new aide came. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I did the same thing the nurse did. This lady was a foreign, because you know they hide a lot of foreign people, but this lady knew what she was. I think she had like nursing experience, and my agency was just trying to play in her face. But no, this lady, like, I was like, oh, you know, and I'm trying to tell, I'm like, oh, this. She's like, I got it. And you know, I was like, I ain't gonna say, you know what, I don't have to warn you about Nancy. She was some big Jamaican lady. I wish Nancy would put her hands on that fucking lady. The reason I mentioned this was because my refuge of living with Nancy was cigarettes. So my mom was like, oh, I closed cigarettes, and because like I said, she had just got her apartment, so you know, my mom knew, because her and my mom was bad close. So my mom was like, oh, cigarettes, that you can come stay with her for a little while. And I'm like, oh my god. So I took a that cab ride was like $100, and Uber wasn't a thing yet, so it was like straight cash. So I took a cab all the way from Great Neck, New York to wherever I went. And so began my living with this dumb bitch. First night there, you know, that's my homegirl. So, you know, we getting lit, we drinking, we, you know, you're doing what you do with your 19, 20-year-old homegirl. She has her own apartment. I'm grown. None of us got kids. So, you know, we doing, I hadn't known that she got married to this boy named, I'm gonna call him Sonny. I don't know, what was his name? I'm not gonna say his name, but I'm gonna call him Sonny. So Cigarettes got married to this boy named Sonny, and that's the TV is on. So I think that Sonny has something about him, which is why I think that Cigarettes married him, because he was getting money because something. I think, you know what, anyway, the way her personality was, and seeing them together, you can tell that it was more of an arrangement than it was something that was clearly wanted on both sides, if you know what I mean. They both came to me and was like, oh, Sonny has some friends who, you know, they're dealing with some issue right now and they need somewhere to live. And I'm like, why y'all telling me? Why do you think they're telling you, bitch? Because they want to put you and that couple all together in the living room together. So I was sleeping on the floor and they were sleeping on the couch. And you know, it's not my house. I can't say yes or no, but you know, whatever. So there's two couples and me living in this effing apartment, right? And then so our arrangement was that I was to pay them $200 a week, which looking back, and she was living in a project, so I know your rent wasn't no $1,600 I'm paying. I'm paying your rent, bro. Like, you could have just said that. I feel like they probably didn't want to say that, because then I would have been like, all right, cool, like, yeah, all of y'all could fucking leave since I'm paying the rent, the buck. But I wasn't on that type of time, so it was just like. But then when the couple came, I ended up paying from $200 a week to $350. So $350 a week. $350 plus $350 is $500, right? So I'm paying $1,000 a month to sleep on someone's couch, and it's the I know your fucking rent was not that much, bitch. Like, so Cigarette come to me and she was like, and to me and the couple, to SpongeBob and Patrick, and she was like, oh, Sonny and I are having a date night, so you know, y'all gonna have to find something to do that night. And I wasn't hearing her basically say that to leave the house, like to find something to do and not be home. I'm like, okay, have fun. But why do you have to tell me? And like, you know, and so the SpongeBob and Patrick was like, okay, you know, like, well, something. They had started talking, so then it ended up being a double date for both of them. So basically, I had to go and find something to do that night, and you know, whatever. I'm like, in my head, so in reality, they're planning their double date. And in my head, I'm like, all right, so when y'all leave, I'ma smoke, I'ma drink, I'm gonna do my thing. Like, it's gonna be a lit ass Friday night. Y'all have fun, come home and tell me how it went. I'm gonna be here chilling, having a good old time, and I may or may not tell you how it went. That's none of y'all business. We're planning our Friday night, and they're just like, okay, so you're gonna go do something, and I'm like, why? Go do what? She's like, all right, so what you doing tonight? And I'm like, nothing. What do you mean? And she's like, oh, like I told you to have plans, and I'm like, I do. When y'all leave, I'ma chill. At the time, she was like, oh no, like you gotta be like out the house, and I was like, why? Mind you, because at this point, back when before they had got together, when we were doing sleepovers, she would have to work. So she's working, I'm in the house. She actually had spent the night at her mother's house, and I was still in the crib. So it's like I didn't think it was an issue. So I'm like, all right, so y'all go bye. Like, I'll stay here. I'll be here on this couch chilling. Have fun. And she's like, no, like you gotta go. And I'm like, go where? So then come to find out, it was because of Sonny. Sonny didn't want nobody in the house because he had like an expensive TV and like a game system and a I think it was a stereo, and he didn't want nobody to take it, nobody to touch it and stuff like that. And I'm like, you realize I live here? Take it where? Take it to the living room? Take it with me to the bathroom? And I guess, like, you know, anybody can be like a scammer, crackhead, steal shit and sell it, but like I have a job. I don't need to steal your shit and sell it. That's like I was the naive one, because I'm like, what is the problem? Like, what is his problem? Like, and she's like, no, you know, he just doesn't want anybody in the house, and la 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 la. And I'm like, well, tell that nigga to go do something. I don't know, like, did I go find something to do that night? No. I was in the crib. So some time goes by. At this point, I think it's like almost 3 weeks that I'm living there, paying her. I paid her. The first week was $200, then $350, so that's $550, and then I'm on my way to pay her the third. So that's $900. She bitch got $900 out of me, bro. $900. This day, Cigarette comes to me, and she's like, oh, so me, Sunny, SpongeBob, and Patrick was talking, and we think we're gonna basically like renovate the apartment. And I'm like, okay. Oh, yeah, no, we're gonna renovate it, so like it's just a couple apartment. And I'm still not understanding, like, what are you trying to say? You're gonna make it a couple apartment? Like, so she finally is like, oh, you know, basically like you have to go. It's just gonna be in the living room. It's gonna be SpongeBob and Patrick, and then me and Sunny in the bedroom. And I was like, oh, I felt some type of way, because it's like, you don't even know these people. They're his friends. You are my friend. You know me longer than you even know him. But bitches be weird when they get some new dick. And you know, that's a lesson that I've learned in my life, and it doesn't bother me anymore, because it is what it is. I'm not gonna argue with you. Like, it's, you know, this is your crib. I mean, it's technically mine because I'm paying so much for it, but it's in your name. I'm not gonna fight with you. I'm not gonna argue about it. Like, this is what y'all want. Y'all talked it over. Whatever. So it is that. It's that. It's gonna be that. And okay, fine. So that weekend came up, and me and my best friend Sam and one of our other friends, we ended up going to Hibachi for dinner. It was like a random friend dinner or whatever. And I'm telling them everything, and I'm like, bro, like, now she's talking about I gotta go, like, I don't got nowhere to go, like, I gotta go to the shelter, blah, 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 blah. And Sam was like, just bring your ass to my house. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that, nah. She's like, bro, just come to the house, right? Just come stay. Cool, say less, right? So I don't remember the day exactly, but I just remember specifically I was with Sam and our other friend, and I had a mailbox, a PO box. I had a PO box by where Cigarette lived at. So I was like, oh, can you give me a ride to go get my pick up my stuff in the mailbox. And Sam was like, oh, why you over there? Just get your stuff and just come move in, basically. So I'm like, you know what? Just kill two birds with one stone, bitch. Okay. I get my mail, and then I get to Cigarette's house, and I'm like, well, I'm out of here, getting my stuff, and I'm gonna go. She's like, oh, what you mean you're gonna go? And I'm like, you said we had to leave. So, no, sorry, you said I had to leave, so I'm leaving. And she, what? What are you talking? And she started getting late, and I'm just like, bro, like, calm the fuck down. Like, why are you getting so upset? Like, you came to me and told me that I had to go. What is all of that? So I get my stuff, I leave. This bitch is blowing my phone up. How you gonna do that? And you just gonna do that? And like, she felt betrayed for whatever reason. This bitch been acting funny since I got there, but I was the one acting funny because I'm leaving when you told me I had to leave. She hung up on me, and I'm like, all right, whatever. So we were on our way back to Sam's house, and my mom calls me. She was like, oh, what is the problem? Why is Cigarette blowing me up, talking about that you moving out and you left your stuff and all this other stuff? And I'm like, what? Hello? And she's like, yo, she told me, she called me and la la la. And I'm like, first of all, I don't know why she called you. There's no reason. What are you gonna do? Like, Ma, what are you gonna do? Like, I really am just like, Ma, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna say? Like, oh, go back? And I'm like, I don't know why she called you because she told me that I have to go. So, what all this is right now, I cannot tell you. I do not know. Why she's so lazy? You would think Winston works. She don't have no damn job. Me and my mom get off the phone, and then Cigarette calls me again, and she was like, oh, like, how you just gonna up and leave? And I'm like, I'm not upping and leaving. You said, I guess her... to her, my upping and leaving was, I didn't give her a specific time or day that I was gonna leave. I just knew that I had to go, so I had to go ahead and make arrangements. If it was that serious, you wouldn't have went about it the way you did. You told me I have to go by Friday. It's Thursday. I'm out, and you're mad. I did not understand, bro. Like, let me know. Like, honestly, let me know. Was I the one messed up? Was I the messed up friend, or was she the messed up friend? Oh, and I don't remember how I found out, but SpongeBob and Patrick wasn't paying rent. There was one time me and SpongeBob was the boy. We was home. I was already home that day. I don't think I had to go to work. I think I was off, and he had got home early. So, you know, we just in the house talking and whatever. And he was like, and then all of a sudden we can't smoke in the house no more. We had to go outside. So he was like, oh, like, you trying to smoke? So I'm like, all right, cool. So we went out, we smoking and talking. When I tell y'all, it was innocent. We didn't talk about nothing inappropriate. It was just, he was outside smoking and I was outside smoking, and that was it. And then Patrick found out and told Cigarette, like, oh, like, I don't trust her or my man, and my man is and my man that. And I'm like, oh my God. I think he had let it slip that they wasn't paying rent. And I'm like, oh. So I'm paying my rent, y'all's rent, and their rent. Cool. Now, I don't got no beef with this girl, but obviously I don't fuck with her because that was really weird. Like, how you gonna get mad at me because you told me that I had to leave and I am prepared and you have an attitude about it? Why do bitches be weird? Oh, so we reached the end of the story about this widow bitch. I haven't heard from her since then. I don't plan to hear from her. There's no beef, but there's beef. I remember I had bought some trees from this man, the tree man, and they were I bought 2 dubs. They were fat like this. Now, if you do this, you know that a dub is never this big. But for some reason, I don't know, maybe he thought I just was extra pretty that day, but he was just like, 2 dubs, I got you. Like this. On got like this. And it was loud. It wasn't green. It wasn't oregano. It was loud. And I get back to the crib. I put it on a little TV dinner thing. I'm eating my burger. I got a burger from the chicken spot. I'm eating. I go shower. I get the garbage. I throw it out. I get all my roll-up stuff, I sit down, and I'm like, where's my stuff? Not me being responsible and taking the garbage out into the incinerator where I can no longer get it. The rage. The rage. No longer will I ever be that responsible again. Yo. Oh my God. So thank you for reaching this part of the story. We reached the end. I'm sorry I didn't have a better plot for weird bitches, but a weird, like I said in my previous story time, a weird bitch is always gonna be just that, a weird ass bitch. And when you peep weirdness, move accordingly. Don't fight, don't argue, don't do all of this other stuff. You see the weirdness, you peep it, just go. Just because a weird bitch is always gonna be weird. They're gonna always be weird. They're always gonna move weird, talk weird, say weird shit, do weird things. They're always gonna be weirdo. And you gotta keep your head and do what you gotta do and just go. Right? So thank you for getting to this point of the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends. All right, put my videos in the background while you're cleaning, while you're driving, you know. Put me on the TV screen. I'm pretty. But thank you again for making it to this point. Again, please like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on all of my social media, 10 Toes About It. I'm going to have it right here on the screen. Say hello to this lazy butt right here. Lazy, lazy, lazy. I'm going to find my other cat, and you'll see her in another video. Thank you. Mwah!